Hi guys, it's Ben again from Nerf Mods for Dummies, and today we'll be doing the Firestrike, which is a small single shot easy prime blaster with the addition of a little light. You can see it or not. Yeah, good one, nice and cheap, and it can get some good performance out of it. It is a reshell of a Night Finder, which I do have one here. That was the original one, which is, this one's a lot smaller. This one still has a light on it, but there's trigger activated light. For someone with bigger hands, if you do have a single shot, I would prefer the Night Finder, but the Firestrike is good, very good. So what I'm doing today is, that's a straight stock spring, pretty loose, and that's a 7 kilo one that I've gotten from Blaster Tech, which is also available through Orange Modworks. I'll put a link to both in the description. So that's your two different springs. Okay, as always, it's not primed, which you can tell by that not being in place. Time to unscrew. Firstly, you want to unscrew this little one at the bottom here, which holds the batteries in. And there's a little square metal piece there that you have to be careful of when you undo it, because that is what receives the screw when you put it back in. Let's get that done. You've got one springy part at the front here which will jump on you if you're not careful when you take it apart. Smaller blaster, nice and easy. This is really good for your single shot games, and what people want to do, if you want to give it a bit more poke, this will bring it to your 80s and 90s feet per second, just with a spring increase. For the extra 5 to 10 feet per second, there is extra things you can do to it, and I'll just quickly name those when I've got it open. Pry it open. And every time you open one for the first time, it's always a bit stiff. Must be because they're manually made and probably screwed in with impact drivers, I'm guessing. More that one, that one. Back there. Right, you got to be careful because your trigger catch, it sits right at the back here, will want to jump on you as well. Right, get all these screws undone. We'll be laughing. There we go. Again, I've laid this down so the screws are still in their original places, so you don't have to pick them up or move them around or anything else. Okay, very straightforward. This is your plunger tube, your plunger, and then with this one, the trigger catch is actually caught on this piece, so it'll be coming off as one. This is just all your bits for your activate your light by making contact there. Nothing important to this. So let's get this out. It will come out one piece, like I said. Okay. Now, this, so it's all connected. So you've got to get it free of this part here. A bit of force, a bit of wiggling. There you go. That is just your basic attachment for your light housing, and this is the main guts of it. With this, people do, because it is a single shot and you will not be dry firing it unless you do it intentionally because you put it in your chute, removing the AR out of this one isn't that bad a thing to do. So if you want to do that, you just got to smash out the little pieces that hold the round disc in place. And some people will rebarrel this in aluminium or brass. As you can see, there's little holes there that let air out. So you can either cover that up or just slide in some 14mm aluminium or some 9/16 brass, but you'll have to drill out of it to get it in. Now this is a bit tricky. So what you're going to have to do is, because this is all sealed one piece, you can remove it and re-stick it in place, but your primer is all one piece all the way through. So what I do with it, I'll use a screwdriver and just bend it off a bit to get it like that, so I can unwind it. So I'll unwind it off the blaster. You're not going to reuse this, so I'm not too worried about damaging this spring, because yeah, it's basically, if you're like me, they'll go in a box to go in the bin. So, sorry if I went a bit off camera there. There we go. You can cut it if you have pliers handy. I don't, so let's just unravel it. That's probably the hardest thing you have to do with this. Go the wrong way, and then just twist the last bit to get it off. Done, that's your stock spring off. Now this spring is also the same one used in the strong arm. It's also used in the flip fury. It's used in the zombie strike bow as well. And a few different ones, like all the different reshells of the strong arm, the Rebel version. So what I'm doing now is I'm just trying to catch that over here, so I can make sure this feeds on without destroying it, which I'm struggling to do that at the moment. There we go. Now just screw the new one back on without scratching away at the plunger rod. Turning. So if you really felt like it, you can remove the end and re-stick it. I've never had the need to. I've always managed to do this. I'll get this back off your trigger catch a bit. It is a little bit of a pain to do. But if you want a single shot with a bit of go in it, it is cheap and springs are readily available. There we go. Springs in place. Now I'm going to get all this back together. So if you wanted to take it to the next level, which I'm not going to do here on this video, knock out the air restrictor and put in a new substance for barreling, either brass or aluminium. Okay, so let's get this back connected in. These two little nubs here go inside these bigger holes. Just got a bit of force. Line it up and get it in. Go this way. Nope. Been a little while since I've done a Firestrike. I'm just trying to remember the best way to do it. Not that way. Okay. Just trying to make sure I keep on camera. There we go. One in, two in. And that came off. I'm just going to go back to there, which I think is just an unnecessary part, but I'll put it back on anyway because I'm not sure. Put that back in and locks in on 2 points. Bang, bang, done. Put your little light back in, push it into there. And now get it back into the shell. 2 bigger plastic holes and a light housing. And you see it fits into these 2 little nubs here and here. And the primer goes in that way up. Watch it out a bit. You have to push the spring in to get past this little blue bit there, which holds it all in place. And we're in. Yeah, it's all seated back in. Trigger catch back inside, which is a very simple design like most of them. Now this trigger here hasn't got a spring because it works off enough resistance here. And this is that little square bit I said that the screw for the battery door will go into. So make sure that sits back in. Fidgety a little bit. Fidgety a little bit. Okay, putting in this little piece of bolt. It's probably going to take me the longest thing of this whole video. So just fast forward through if you're doing better than me. Alright, it's in place now. Other side of the shell goes on. You always line it all up. Wait for it to click. There you go. You'll believe it, that little bit of bolt came out. A little bit of nut came out. Clean, 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 clean. Yeah, if you don't care about this, you'll have it done in half the time. There we go. That screw is giving me a bit of grief. Such a little and easy job, I'm having such a time with it. And that's the thing with all of these, is you do have your ones that take a bit of time when they really shouldn't, so don't get discouraged by it. We've all been stumbled around and done these before. Nothing rarely ever goes bang bang straight in, especially when you're dealing with something that's brand new. When you've used it a bit, it's had a bit of wear to it, it's been pulled apart a couple of times, then it will naturally go back into its place. When it's just freshly opened off the factory seal, it does get a bit stiff. Sorry, get that back on camera. Yeah, please comment if there's anything I've done here that you don't like, or something you'd like to see done differently. These are, as I say, made for your HVC type games, so I'm not overpowering them. They can go a lot harder than what I do when on these videos, but these are, you don't want to shoot someone really close with something that can do 130 feet per second. Like most of your human versus zombie games are limited. Okay, and done. Prime, locked, and dart in. One more. That's a $6 blaster with a $8 spring. Bit of good fun if you run around shooting someone, or even if you're doing your office wars and bits like that. That's the Firestrike all done. Really with that one, just use one tool, a little bit of mucking around with the bolt receiver and getting the springs on and off. But other than that, nice and easy. Please like, share and subscribe these videos, and leave comments if there's anything you'd like to see done. Thank you.